Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day, whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening. I'm glad you're here. Today I'm going to kind of carry on my top 10, actually 11, but top 10 fixed blade knives in my collection as of 2023, as of now. Guys, I could do 4 different fixed blade collections. So what I've done is I've taken the ones that I feel like I carry the most, that have the most utility, and that I enjoy the most right now. That could change. Starting out, it's a newer one, and it's one of my bigger fixed blades in the collection. But before I do that, I do want to thank the channel members. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you, and I want to thank and welcome anyone who comes in to check out my knife content, my EDC content, what I like, what I don't like. It's very subjective. Everybody's opinions are welcome here. If you're so inclined, and hit that subscribe button and the bell notification, it would further help me out. But the first knife, or number 10, is one I picked up at the Nashville Custom Knife Show. This is probably one of the finest fixed blade knives that I have in my collection. It's a driver defense, dust and driver, Splinter in MagnaCut, heat treated to about 64, 65, I think. The only reason it's not higher on this list, it's got a fantastic G10 handle, and for probably 99 of the people out there that carry a fixed blade, this would be a perfect small fixed blade. But for me, and you'll see in a couple of these other knives, there are some that are on the larger side of what I carry. But this knife is a door breacher. It is a Slurpee saver. It is pokey stabby, very slicey, has a very usable belly, has a very thick angular spine, and again, it's made by hand in beautiful outside of Guntersville, Alabama, US of A, by Driver Defense, aka Dustin Driver. I was blessed to pick this up at the Nashville Custom Knife Show. It's the reason, one of the 2 reasons I went, and I got both of them, and they're both on this list. But number 10, only because it's a little bigger than what I normally carry, the Driver Defense Splinter. Moving on, we come to the other side of the spectrum. This is a new knife in my collection. The only reason I can feel so strongly about it is I've been carrying it since it came in, and another knife that's on the top 10 is made by the same manufacturer, and this had already sold out when I picked up the larger version. But I can tell you that this little Gryffin Co Scout Medic, mine's currently got the titanium scales, probably going to change that out with some carbon fiber that I have. But this knife is S35VN, full tang construction, has a fantastic choil. It is very much a pocket scalpel. Cuts like a dream. Has all kinds of different grips, very nice sharpening choil, and the favorite thing about this knife and my Scout 2.5 is you push on the sheath and it is gone. So whether you're wearing this on your neck or if you've got an ulti-clip to your pocket, when you push away, that sheath's going to stay where you got it, and you're going to have a clear knife. And this little guy at right around 5 inches is just a perfect little spear point, box opening, duct tape destroying, knife of last defense, little winner. And I really like it. Moving on, we come to a knife that's similar but different. This is another minimalistic knife, or the maker, Paulus at Baltic Blades, answer for a city/urban EDC fixed blade that might replace people that were currently carrying small folding knives. So if you look at this Baltic Blades here, you'll see, yeah, it's got a smaller blade than the mini bug out. It's got a smaller blade than the Civivi Baby Banter, but not by much. And what it makes up for is it is a solid piece of N690 with 4 delicious gems, and it's named the Angus Gen 2. The Angus is evidently the only and most venomous snake in Lithuania. And this blade is inspired by its fang. What I can tell you about this little knife, it is a finesse cutter like I've never seen. It does feel like it has a scalpel grind on it. I've cut a lot of paper with it, and it does not seem to lose any of its bite. Super little knife, weighs under an ounce without the sheath. I've got the sheath with the ulti-clip because I just keep it in my pocket. The sheath retains it fantastically well. Comes in a bunch of different colors of paracord. I think it's 99 euros. Very thin, very minimalistic, yet hardy enough to punch through a can if you needed to. Great knife, the Baltic blade, it's Angus. And as we move on, we come to my Kill Bill newer J-Cal. This knife I've been carrying on a single ulti-clip. It is a different knife than what Jason normally makes. This is when he was working on trying to perfect a flat grind, and I think he did a great job. This is a full flat S35VN. Has a nice sharpening choil cut into it here. Very nice grind lines. You've got this black micarta handle with the red lanyard tube and the yellow G10 liners, which is why he named it aptly the Kill Bill, after Quentin Tarantino's movie Kill Bill. But guys, if you're talking about a utility knife, if you're talking about a slasher, this knife is an absolute cutter. And I don't care if it's cardboard, I don't care if it's a 2-liter Coke bottle. This little blade is sharp enough to go through just about anything. I've run it through a lot, and it's still got an edge. I love it. I think it fits the hand fantastic. What I love about Jason's J-Cals is the way they kind of absorb to my hand, and this little guy is no different. I've got a lot of these knives. This is the one I've been carrying the most lately, and I really like it. Which brings us to number, I think this is 6. This is the larger version, or the first version, of the Combat Medic. This is the Combat Scout. The Medic was sold out when I got the Scout, and I got the Scout on NAF sale after seeing Stas's review on it. This knife is also OEM by Bestech, S35VN, full tank construction, amazing ergonomics. I did buy micarta handles for this because I thought it would make it softer. What I noticed is it did make it softer. It didn't make the sheath make noise, but it didn't have the retention like it has with the carbon fiber scales. This knife, just like the Combat Medic, regardless of where I've got it, if I'm carrying it horizontal on a belt or if I've got it clipped into my pocket, it is coming out with just a push. And it is, in my opinion, the perfect size EDC knife for my daily carry maybe. And it's going to put it right around the size and length of the mini bug out. I carry smaller, I carry larger, but this kind of hits the sweet spot. So let's look at number 6, since I'm going to double up. This is another newer knife that I've recently gotten in. I've carried it now for, I want to say, only 2 days. How can I rate it after only 2 days when I've got a whole lot of knives? Because carry profile, the way it fits the way I've used it, which is cutting open boxes, cutting through a lot of tape. I had to break down a lot of shit that was taped shut with duct tape today, and I used this knife. I thought I was going to use this as a pocket dropper or get some thinner screws, which I still might get, to mount it to an ulti-clip, but I've been carrying it on my belt, and it's such a small package at under 5 inches that it fits fantastically well. This is the Bark River Micro Canadian, has all grip, gives me full 4 fingers, has a super sharp, slicey, skinnery, scalpely blade that just is next level sharp. It also has a very sharp 3V spine. The knife is made out of 3V. I tried it on my ferro rods earlier today, and it strikes a ferro rod like nobody's business. So whether this is a backpacking knife, an emergency knife, or like I carry it, an urban EDC knife that I just simply put right here on my belt, slide it back behind my primary carry, and I don't even know that it's there. Great knife, totally stoked to have it, and it is the Bark River Micro Canadian. There are a whole bunch of them in stock, by the way, at DLT. I think I picked mine up for around $124. It had micarta and G10, or $142. They go up as high as like $400, but don't be scared off, because that just has an antique mammoth bone or the handle material. They've got them ranging from, I think, 140 or 120 to 170 is the bulk of where they are in 3V in that 5-inch. Which brings us to number 5. And guys, this could write higher. This is larger than I normally carry. The sheath system works perfectly. I'm a huge fan of the folding Axon liner lock. This knife improves on it by making it thinner. This is a thinner blade. It is a serial numbered blade. It is L-Max. It is super, super sharp. Has Vero's stamp on the spine, but nothing else anywhere else. It's totally sanitary. I had somebody mention to me during a live stream tonight that it looked like a kitchen knife. If you've ever used the Axon, you find out what a useful utility knife it is and just everyday cutter. And for me, a fixed blade, if I can contain it, is always going to do better than a folder. And as much as I love the Axon, I had this knife come in for the review, planning on sending it back to Joseph Vero. After living with it for a week, I could not send it back. I had to buy it. I was blessed to buy it. I carry it in my back pocket. It's a dream, works fantastically well, and I have a lot of other carry options. So coming in, I think that's number 5. We have the Vero Axon Fixed Blade, which brings us to number 4. Number 4 has to be one of the most beautiful knives on the list, and this light will not do it justice because we've got so many other lights that we're competing with. Let's see if I can turn this one off. See if I can turn this one off. See if I can turn that one off. Can you see that camo carbon fiber under that UV light? I know, gee whiz, right? It's not that awesome, but to me, it is beautiful. And I had told Colin before I came to Nashville that as long as it wasn't a Damascus steel blade, because I couldn't afford one, I was very open to blade treatment and handle. He said, well, what if you had your wish, what would it be? I said, camo carbon fiber with a satin blade. I got there Friday for the early bird and walked over to his desk or to his table after spending some time over at Demko's booth and watching the asshole make a fool out of himself that I told you all about in live streams. Went over, Colin was there, I introduced myself. He said, nice to finally meet you, John. I had this behind the table for you. And he pulled this knife out. He said, don't feel like you have to buy it. It's just one that you kind of described, and I thought about you when I was packing it up. I said, done. It's perfect. This is the EDW by Mac10 USA or Mag10 Knife Works on Instagram. Colin McGuire. It is the most wicked Wharncliffe. You saw me picking at my hand. I was just showing off the tip. But if you want to talk about a knife that slices like butter, wonderful, wonderful little blade. I worry about the tip, but I don't think with it being ABEL, I need to be that concerned with it. The sheath seems to keep it pretty well secured. I carry it in a short, deep concealment carry clip, which rides it higher on my pocket where I'm not sitting on it. It's more riding up on my waist. Or I'm thinking about switching it to a scout carry. But guys, this is the Mag10 Knife Works with an X on Instagram, EDW. It is a freaking winner. Which brings us to number 3. And I could not talk about my 2023 Chickadee, which is, if I'm not mistaken, a River's Edge Cutlery, Arctic themed, came with this blue-gray sheath, this orange strap. I have an Oak City leather slip for it, actually for 2 of my Chickadees. I love carrying them as pocket droppers. I love this little knife. It's small, it's effective, it does what it needs to do, and it takes up very little space. Whether I want to carry it right to the right of my belt buckle, appendix style, or if I want to drop it in my pocket. I've got options, and I love it. So this is, I've got 3 of them, one of my favorite knives, which brings us to number 2. And the reason I'm so excited about this knife again, this is the T. Denny Apprentice in MagnaCut, treated at 64 with an acid etched and a vintage camel micarta. I love the sheath this came with. It's perfect for wearing in my left pocket and my right pocket. Feels a little flimsy in my back pocket, even though I know it's not. But I have inbound, it just got finished, an Oak City leather slip made specifically for this knife. So it's going to look like this, but it's going to be made for the Apprentice. So hopefully it'll open up some ways that I carry it. It'll make it even that much more enjoyable for me, because I think for an EDC package opening, duct tape ripping, Slurpee saving, God knows what I'll need it for, knife, I don't know if there's a better one to be had. I've reached out to Tyler, and if I'm not mistaken, he's in school. He hasn't been making these like he was. I think he makes them on break. I want, if you're watching this, Tyler, when you do, carbon fiber, satin, MagnaCut blade, everything else the same. I would love that. Let me know when you want me to send you the 175 to 230. You just tell me what it is. But this is the T. Denny Apprentice. I love it. I'll do the unboxing next week when the sheath comes, and we'll try it out then, carry it again, and I'll review it again with the new carry method. Which brings us to my number 1. Who would have thought? Boker. This is a knife I have been chasing, looking at, not chasing, but admiring since I started collecting knives. Months, years before I would ever consider an EDC Fixed Blade. And yes, guys, this is the Boker Daily Carry AK1. I'm sorry. And what is so flippin' cool about this knife, besides the fact that It is RW34. It is Soligen Germany, and it has Boker's, Daily Carries, and Alex's, the young knife maker who actually sketched this knife. All three of their maker's marks. And I was going to get a piece of paper before I showed you one of the engineering feats I learned about after the fact. But guys, for an everyday foraging, camping, needing to hike, needing to make feather sticks, needing to make detail cuts, needing to save your Slurpee, this knife is a freaking awesome little carry. And what I did is it had a lanyard loop. I'm not a big fan of a lanyard loop. I carry it in its sheath with the ulti clip, and that's the way I choose to carry it. So what I did, and I think I can show you guys this very, very quickly. I think it's a T10, maybe a T8. T8, sorry about that. Or maybe a T10, that was a T15. So, when I take one of these scales off, I think this is the neatest little engineering feat. You guys are probably going, you're wasting my time, Javon. I promise I'm not. And if you saw this in the unboxing, I apologize. But once you pop this scale off, either side, you have this tab. And if you give it a little closer inspection, let's see here. I might have to go get my little plastic doohickey. Hold on a sec, guys. Let me grab my little plastic doohickey. I got it right here. Oh. So anyway, yeah, it just falls out when I go get the doohickey. But what this allows you to do is you can lay it in there like a puzzle, get it to fit. Whoops, that's not the right way, because if you look at the scale, it's not going the right way. So I want it to line up with our scale. So that would be like this. So you put it in like that, put your scale back on, it traps the lanyard hole, and you've got the lanyard locked in. And then again, if you go back to, I don't really need the lanyard hole, but I know if I need it in the field, it's there for me. I thought that was kind of neat. And I enjoyed having the option to be able to get it out of the way when and if I wasn't using it. So I thought that was pretty cool. That's not why it's my #1 knife of 2023 in a fixed blade. I think it's my #1 knife because I've wanted it for so long. It was on sale when I found it around Black Friday. They had the carbon fiber handles in stock. The RWL34 is done exceptionally well. I was amazed by the equalness of the grind and how sharp it is. I love the fact that it even says Bowler Soligen on the blade. And it has all three maker's marks. So yeah, guys, big fan of these knives. And I won't be able to get them out here as I try to clean up my mess. Before I tell you guys goodbye, I will move the screwdriver and my little, and I know we're getting out of order, but we're not going to get them all in there anyway. Guys, I do appreciate you more than you know. The fact that y'all watch my content continues to just humble me and excite me to try to do better and make more. I hope you guys continue to enjoy it as we go into 2024. And again, guys, I love you all. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for always looking out for the guy or gal to your left. Thanks for always looking out for the guy or gal to your right. Thanks for looking out for each other, for going forward with love in your heart, and for always choosing debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.